Hi, people of God. Welcome to this week's episode on Queen Inspires You. Your heart is a treasure unto God. Here we inspire, build, grow, and laugh together. Everything God-like and holistic conversations. Oh my God. I feel so excited this evening recording. It took me like forever to finally pick up the mic and say hi. I think the last time that I uploaded on the podcast was on 27th of September, and that's been a long time. I intentionally said I needed a break. I have been so stressed lately, and I needed every break that I could get. So, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Queen-Esther Mpamugo. I love to be called my name. I love to be called Queen-Esther. Not Esther, not Queen. A lot of you make the mistake of saying Esther, and a lot of you make the mistake of saying Queen. But I'm making the correction today that it is Queen-Esther. My name is Queen-Esther Mpamugo, and you are welcome to Queen Inspires You podcast, a place for godlike and holistic conversations. Thank you, my returning listeners. And if you are new here, you're welcome. And trust me, you're going to have a very, 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 very amazing time here today. Okay. I know you all are doing really amazing. I've been also fine. I've been good. But then, is there anything I'm going to come up here and say I've not been stressed lately? Well, I'm doing well at managing stress. The month of October has been amazing. Has been a whole lot for me. So my teaching practice ends tomorrow. Oh my God, I think that deserves a round of applause. It does. It definitely do deserve a round of applause, honestly, because when I started my teaching practice on the 15th of September, I honestly wasn't interested. Honestly, I wasn't interested at all. I didn't want to. And I have a confession to make that I never taught at that school. Yeah, I never taught. I just was showing up every day, made friends with the students. I didn't enter the class because I was totally uninterested at that experience. You know, I had my internship a few months back, and I've been drained from a lot of physical practice. I just needed a break. Coming back from a conference, coming back from internship, attending a conference in Lagos, returning back to school again for another teaching practice was a whole lot for me, and I honestly wasn't interested. So my confession is that I didn't for once teach in that school. I just had to mark present, and then my supervisor came and they saw my report, which I had to fabricate because I didn't teach like that. Don't blame me. Don't judge me. I just was in my lowest at that point. I even felt ill during those periods. That's a long story entirely, because that period just taught me what it feels like, what it feels like taking care of yourself without having somebody around you to take care of you. I don't know if you've ever been ill before and you had nobody around you to like take care of you. If you have not been in that situation, I don't even pray for my biggest enemy to be in that situation. That was me at the ending of September. I think that's one of the major reasons why I even did that recording, one of the episodes about September, You Will Not Try Me. Because honestly, the month of September was trying me at every point that it could try me. It was trying me. So I felt and I was just the only one around to take care of me. My roommate had not resumed at that time, and a whole lot of students had not even resumed. So because I had to return early on time for my teaching practice, so it was just few of us that were doing teaching practice that was available. So I had to take care of my sick self. And honestly, a whole, excuse me, it was a whole lot for me. But then the whole gist today is that, one of the gists today is that I am going to be ending my teaching practice tomorrow. And the fact that I'm in my finals. Honestly, every time that I look back to how I came into this university, how I stayed home for I think 4 to 5 years, 4 to 5 years, and how I felt like I was just way behind. And Lord, I need this admission of a thing. Oh God, can you help me? Every time that I see those pictures, I remember them. It just tells me how much time flies. Time flies. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so overwhelmed right now because I'm in my finals. And in less than 6 months, I'm going to be done. I'm going to say bye from being an undergraduate and becoming a graduate. And then I look forward to what life holds for me as a graduate, which I know, oh my God, I know definitely that life holds very beautiful things for me. When you might say, oh, that's how everybody always affirm. My case is different. And I'm just looking and I'm like, God, I remember how much then I'll be at home and I'll just be bothered about when will I get admission. At some point, I even got tired of waiting for admission. I got into university when I was 21, right? Yeah, I was 21. I got into university in 2022. I was 21 and I'm currently 24. I'm going to be 25 next year. Oh my God. And I had plans, like every other young person out there. I had plans to, I finished my secondary school when I was 16. So I had plans that I'll get into university by 17, 18. And then by 2020, by 21, 22, I should be done with university. By 23, I should be 7. By 24 right now, let me just think, I should be working and trying to, and have a very perfect love life. And like every other young girl out there, every other young guy out there, I had plans and you just keep flopping. There was nothing coming. I was writing jam was jamming me. I didn't even follow up during COVID. I was just displaced. But then I look back and I'm just amazed at how much that I'd waited. And the amazing thing about that waiting was that the Lord helped me not to just wait. And I think that at every phase of your life, like Salim King said the other time in his I can't remember if it's a challenge or a series, the 101 creator thing that he was doing. I'm trying to remember the exact name. That one of his series, one of the reel that he recorded, he was talking about enjoying every phase. He says take pictures, journal, just capture every moment, just capture. And I'm looking back and I'm grateful that I didn't just sit back and I did nothing. I was very involved. Oh my God. If you are a young person right now and you are waiting, maybe for admission, maybe on a relationship, maybe marriage, maybe a job, whatever that it might be that you're waiting for, I think that you should be involved with other things. Connect with the right friends, build yourself. You might say, I've been building myself. Continue building yourself. There is no investment that you make in yourself that become waste. It just helps you prepare you for the greater assignment ahead of you. I was going through Instagram today and I saw something that I could so much resonate with, and that was I even had to make the post on my page, and that was can I quickly look for it? It says to last and not just to rise. Oh my God, that's so profound. It's not about you just rising to the top. It's not about you just looking forward to being there. But it's about lasting. It's about making an impact in that place that God has placed you. And when you rush some process, it doesn't last. Every good thing that you see in life today was built on a basic of good and solid foundation. Same as every human character that you see today. A man that is disciplined, a man of good integrity, a man of good regimen. They were built on solid foundation. So whatever that you're currently waiting for and it just feels like it's not forthcoming, I want to remind you that you should keep building. I want to remind you that you should keep being involved in things. Do not just sit and wait. Don't make that mistake of, because I'm looking forward to an admission, for example, and she just not doing anything. If it's to get a skill, which is like one of the basic knowledge that you should have, get a skill. If it's to volunteer in an organization, do that. If that dream job of yours hasn't come yet, can you take the other job that's available right now while you look forward to that miracle? Aspiring is a very beautiful thing. Oh my God. Looking forward to having dreaming is very beautiful. But one mistake that we shouldn't make is dreaming without being involved in something else. Because when you get yourself involved in something else, then that particular opportunity you've been waiting for might come from that thing that you are doing. Let me give you a very short story of how I got my admission. Now, remember that I told you that I'd given up about my admission. In fact, I wrote JAMB for like 3 times actually. Then the third one, because I didn't get admission the first 2 I wrote, at some point your morale just keep decreasing. So my morale was decreasing. I was not interested again. I didn't want to at some point again, just, what's the word? I was not interested. That's just it. I didn't prepare for my JAMB. Originally, I didn't prepare. I can tell you plainly that I did not read for my JAMB, and I had a very poor result. I think I came out with like 183 thereabout. So it was a very, very poor result because I didn't read. And so as a result of that, I didn't get admission. I just knew that I wasn't going to get admission. But then I just felt disappointed. I felt like, oh God, what's going on in my life? Well, I know I didn't read, so I was not expecting something very excellent. I know all of that. But then I was involved in a community of friends and I was exposed. So I went to a family friend one very Sunday, I think. I went visiting them. And that very day, they had a meeting. I think they had a fellowship thereabout, and I was present there. And one of the men there, he was like, how are you doing? So I have this very, very charming smile, and I have a very good dentition. So whenever I smile, you get to notice my dentition and my smile and all of these things. So he was like, oh, my smile is like my signature. He gave me a very good compliment that made my day, and I was so happy. We had some chat, and he was asking me, normal thing, when you meet a young girl, that's a young girl you just would call and say, oh, she should be a teenager. And he asked, and he was like, okay, what are you doing presently? I honestly didn't have much that I was doing. But then I told him, are you in school? Obviously, no. I told him I wasn't in school, I wrote JAM and all of these things. And just right there, I was helped. I was helped. From this story, it just gives you a picture that what if I remain at home? What if I didn't build that community? What if I didn't go anywhere? What if I just stayed and did nothing? Honestly, I should tell you that I right now might not be in school, because heaven knows that after that third JAM I wrote, I was not interested again in university. I wanted to just go learn a skill and build my finances, which I just deep down I knew that's not what I wanted. I wanted a degree. I'm that girl that wants to go to school. I'm that girl that wants to get a degree. I'm that lady looking forward to having even a PhD in life, you grab. But then God knew that wasn't a path that I'm supposed to follow, to just go and, acquire a skill. He wanted me to also, he wanted me to also have a degree. And he made that provision. So that's me saying to you that wherever that you are currently, and it's just kind of hard, you're waiting. Don't just keep waiting. If you're waiting for a relationship, don't just keep waiting. Just do something. The opportunity that I get, I always share about the story of King Saul and David. And I think I've spoken about that here in the audience of one. And that's because this story really helped me and gave me a view about not just looking forward to be there, but then enjoying the moment. Even the story of Jesus, He was in his training place for 30 good years, and in 3 years he delivered. And in 3 years, oh my God, where did that Yorubaness come up from? In 3 years, he delivered. Let's go back a little to the story of King Saul. King Saul was anointed the king of Israel, and personally, I don't know if King Saul had that training to be where God placed him. But like we've been taught, God don't call the qualified. He qualified the call. So God wanted him to be qualified while he was being called. But I think because he was impatient and because he was not patient enough to follow God, he fell out of God's plan for him. And I came to understand that God wanted his dynasty to reign forever. And I came to also understand through his story that God's plan B can much more be greater than God's plan A. You might think, oh, I'm the only one that God has the plan for in this particular assignment. If I don't do it, nobody else can be fit for it. Can I announce to you, brethren, that God's plan B supersedes that plan A that you think look too perfect? You mean, what other best can come out of this plan A? The other best. And you might be waiting and you're wondering, oh, I've just been here. Can I remind you that God is training you? God is hiding you. He's training you. I've used that word before. He's modeling you for what is to come. Yes, he is. Because when I go into university, there were a lot of mistakes I couldn't just make because I was too informed. I mean, I was too exposed to God's word, to God's knowledge, that I didn't come in as a novice. I didn't come in as somebody that was looking for where to go and how to go about life. I had a whole lot of guidance. I had self-development. Remember I told you I was involved while I was waiting for admission. I had business idea. Before I came in already, I already had a business that was running. But even though it wasn't fully formed, but it was a business idea. I would say I came into university 80-70 formed. So I was fit for the ground. I was fit for the soil to go and blossom. And that just gave me a clue of why most times what we desire do not come. It's because he's just training you for what is to come. He's just preparing you for the better one ahead. And you know this what I'm saying is not even new. Like, you know it. That your waiting is for what is to come. It's for the best for you. It's training you. Because it's not all about just rising. It's about lasting. It's about making an impact. It's about being who God has called you to be. And when I came to understand this thing, I tell you, I found so much peace in resting in God's will for me, because I understand that I can rise and I fall in less than 3 months. There's no glory in that. But if you are fit for the work, if you have stayed in the fire, if you've gone through the test and everything, when it's time for you to rise, what exactly will make you fall? So it's more beyond just being on that pedestal of glory, being on the spotlight. I honestly like to be on the spotlight sometimes, not all the time. I honestly like to be recognized. I honestly like to have the best things of life. Like, who doesn't want to have the best things of life? But then, it's about making a lasting impact. It's about building. It's about making impact. Like I said, the story of Saul and King Saul and David inspires me. David was in his training ground. He was in that wilderness. He was in that wherever that he was tending for the sheep. He was in all that he was doing. And he felt like at his age, at 17, he might look like a boring teenager. Oh, your mates are out there drinking, your mates are out there partying, and you are here with the sheep. Every regular teenager would think like that and be like, I'm not even bubbling like the regular kind of guy and girl, those kind of thoughts. I'm not there yet. I'm not there. But when you understand the assignment that God has called you for, there are things that you're going to allow to manifest in your life. There are places that you're going to actually have to live in because you're not ready for staying in Dubai. Because you're not fit to stay in Canada. It might look like, am I not fit? But you may actually not be fit to live in New York because you're not ready for that kind of life. Because you might go to New York and you lose your salvation. And maybe that's why, maybe that's why the visa is not coming, you know. So it's about making an impact. It's about making an impact because the glory that comes with you having to build character is beautiful. I mean, David was a man of solid character. When he had the opportunity to kill Saul, he said, God forbid that I touch God's anointed. That shows you a man of character. And character is rare in our days. Character is totally rare in our days. Character is beautiful. Character is a glory. Character is a beautifier. And these things are formed in your waiting period. These things are developed when you stay where God has put you. I mean, why hurry? When there's a glory ahead, the Bible says, Jesus said that for the glory ahead, he endured the curse. He had to do some endurance because he knew that there was a glory ahead of him coming. And I'm just reminding you today that maybe just in case you are waiting and you're just like, oh, I'm tired, man. I need to move. Calm down. Cool. Your blood is hot. Which is normal, actually. Waiting can be very hard. I know how that feels. I had to wait. I told you about my admission. I had to wait, and I understand what it means, like to see your friends being 300 level. And I understand what it feels like to still be a volunteer in church, submitting reports and doing cell meetings, and your friends are signing out from university, and you are just gaining admission. Or you're still like, jam, please don't jam me this time. We all know that feeling. And I can honestly relate. I know how painful that is. Trust me, I do. Well, look at me today. I'm a finalist, man. Hey, Jesus. I'm a finalist, though. Every time that I remember, I said, God, waiting can be worth it. Thank you, my Father. So if you're waiting, dearly beloved, it is not to rise, but to last. It is not to rise, but to last. So enjoy. Create memories while you are waiting. Make friends. Go out. Work on your self-development. Work on your charisma. Work on yourself. Become that woman, that girl, that man that God has ordained you to be. I, Queen-Esther Mpamugo, I am rooting for you. Remember, it's not to rise, but it's to last. Anytime you feel pressure, just tap yourself and say, no be to rise, but to last. That's our coded slang here. Tell your friends, say, no be to rise, not to last. Yep. So that's it. I'm a finalist and I'm finishing school in less than 6 to 7 months. And my testimony today is that waiting can be worth it. And if you're in a waiting period, enjoy it, build memories, and God would crown every trust that you have for him. I think a neighbor is talking. I don't know if this recording is picking. I just pray it's not picking it. You know that it took me a lot to record. I've been waiting for a quiet time like this to record. And while I was pressing my phone, the Lord just said, everywhere is quiet. So, and immediately, I picked up my phone and I started recording. What I'm currently talking about is what I wanted to talk about. I had no script, but then I didn't know how to transit into the topic that I had prepared to last and not just to rise. But you see how amazing God is that I started from sharing my story about how much I was waiting on admission, and I just smoothly transited into the topic that I had in my spirit. See, God is an extraordinary strategist, I tell you. He is. So I know that this episode has made a very beautiful impact in your life. I know that waiting can be very, 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 very challenging, but I trust the Lord for your life, that in every season that you are waiting, you will come out the best in Jesus' name. Kindly do share this episode to as many as you can. See, you honestly would not, like they will say, it is very wicked that you see water in the desert and you keep it to yourself. That's a perfect example if you don't tell your friend about Queen Inspires You. Like, how dare you see water in the desert? You know how it's very scarce. Oh, you know the scarcity of water in desert. And you can't tell your friends, your Gen Zs. You can't tell the millennials where you have seen water in the desert. Where come and listen to Queen Inspires You. My OGs, spread the news now. So kindly do share this episode to as many friends that you know that is in a waiting period. See, we are all in a waiting period of our life. Oh, let me just tell you the truth. At every point, we will wait for something. I'm currently waiting for something as I speak to you right now. Like, there's always a waiting in our life. I don't think there's even a season of waiting. We are always waiting for something. We're always waiting. And that's where trust in God comes. We're always waiting for something. So share this episode to your friend that you know is going to bless. And that's a sign that you love that friend. So on this note, I'll be ending today's episode. It's so good to always talk to you. Like, every time that I pick up my mic to speak to you, there's this joy that wells up in my heart. And I'm so glad that you'll stay to this time. Thank you for listening to today's episode on Queen Inspires You, on to last and not just to rise. And I know that this episode has blessed you. Have an amazing weekend, an amazing day. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, and God bless you. Mwah! Bye.